Okay, so this is my first video. I thought I would do a quick journal flip before I start on my journal page in the next video. So this is just a visual journal book that I got at like Craft Warehouse. This is the first page I did in here, and I had used this paper cutout as a stencil, and I liked the color, so I used it, and of course the good smash tape. And underneath is this really cool stamp by Seven Gypsies, if you can see that. It's called Disclaimer, and it has lots of cool stamps in it, and I used it as the whole piece and just slapped it on my page. And it has lots of stuff like inquire within, enter at your own risk, handle with care, you know, all those little sayings that that you see on signs and booklets and stuff like that. It's really in the background, so you probably can't see it very well, but I love that stamp. I had to order it when I saw it on somebody else's video. Tested out my Distress inks. Another one, I was playing with making flowers, and I was using my die cut machine, so these were just kind of funky fun ones to play with and just slap them down on a page to see how they would work in the journal, whether they would get really flat, which they do. This background, never done anything with. Eventually, my journals have a lot of those, and sometimes they get filled and sometimes they don't. This one started out as a really neat background, but I just had to write that day, and so it has writing all over it instead of anything exciting. Another page like that, background that was there, needed to write that day. This one was inspired by, I don't remember now, a gal I saw watch on YouTube. And there's the glossy accents that I put over black Sharpie, so it kind of looks like black glossy accents. I really like that. This page was about my new word for the year, which is faith. So I put all the different dictionaries in here that talk about faith. And these are just cut out of a stamp that I have that I doodled on. And in the background is a flower stamp that I have that basically prints the negative space. So the petals and stuff on the flowers show up as whatever colors underneath, and the negative space was what I printed purple. I love this background, but I have not actually done anything with it, and I almost don't want to because I love the way the colors blended and the way that they just kind of run smooth on this page. And this is mixed media paper, so watercolors are really neat on there. You don't need to gesso every page. This one was inspired by a page I had in a different journal that I really liked, the scrapbooking background and the flowers, and then I used pastels and some pan pastel around it, and these are just regular pastels. And again, faith. This I was doodling at a retreat that I go to every year, and that particular year I spent a lot of quiet time, and at our retreat, there are no rules. That's the only rule, is that there are no rules. You can do whatever you want the whole weekend. It's not planned out. It's just a bunch of gals that get together and hang out and have fun. So I started drawing this there, and then when I got home, I colored it in. And I used, on this whole page, I used the Caran d'Ache Neocolor II watercolor crayons. I love them. This one I was trying to practice doing a face, and I do not paint faces well. I can draw faces amazingly, but painting them is a whole nother ball of wax. This was just fun playing with some cool paper that I had, and these yellow tapes here are actually from an embossing folder that I inked. And this is really cool. You can get dies and cut metal out of them. They're called vintage dies. And you can use this, it's like 24 gauge metal, and there's like lots of different colors and stuff. And this one came brown, and I sanded it back to the brass color that's underneath. And the actual die looks like this. So, you know, it's fairly decent size, and then I just put that over a part that I wanted. And these are like the little pieces the way they come. And this one's already been cut too. This one had a page I really hated underneath of it, so I gessoed it and did the circles and stuff. And I didn't like how the purple was, but there you go. Not every page is great. This page was inspired by Milianda and the stamps that she cuts herself, and I have cut a bunch, and this one that's actually the bottles is actually cut out of styrofoam from a packing container. So, and then the circle ones I cut out of an eraser. So get creative with the stuff you can cut with. This one was just colors from that one that had kind of got put on there, and I added some oranges. Another one that I haven't really done anything with. This one was leftover paint from another project. It's just, I think, phthalo blue, and I just drizzled the paint on it. And later put in the color with Pan Pastel and some stamps, and yeah. This one was really fun. I love vintage stuff. I don't always do vintage in my art journal, but I love it. And I made these flowers, and these are these two and this one are die cuts. I think Spellbinders, but I'm not sure. And this is just a punch I punched around the whole thing. These, I love these pages. I've never written anything on them because I really, really just love them the way they are. And the wrinkly stuff you see underneath is paper towel that had been used to clean up sprays and spray against. And they were just such great colors that I put them down on here. And this is a stencil I made. And I just used, this is jelly plate. This is actually jelly plate print too. And I just used pieces of that for backgrounds. This is part of a jelly plate print too. This, I was working with my sister, and she wanted to know how to do a background like that. So we worked together on that. This is this wonderful, wonderful flower I got, flower stamp I got at Michael's that I absolutely love. This, all this dark, is drizzled paint from this project. I had a lot left over. And I came back with watercolor crayons later and colored it. And then yet again later, I came back and did all the little Zen doodling in the centers. These stamps I really like. They're great for putting in journals. This is a scrap that I had sprayed to try this stencil on, and I just love the color. And some of these other stamps I picked up for like $1 at Michael's or Craft Warehouse, probably Michael's. This was just paper tearing of some jelly printed paper that I had done, and I just really liked these colors on there. So I decided, I'll use those. This was inspired by the Twilight movies, obviously. You know, it kind of makes you go through your mind, why would somebody want to be a vampire? So I had to write about that. And this is a wonderful paper out of a paper pack. And this is too, it's cut down and put red around. Picture out of a magazine, big old flower, but spring is my very favoriteest time of the year. Very, very favorite. And it was still really end of winter here, which Oregon is almost winter, just past winter, and then a brief window that there's summer. So springtime is my favorite. Another background. I love the colors, but I haven't done anything with it yet, so maybe I will. This one is done all with some cool papers that my sister gave me, and made these little funky, ruffly flowers out of some of the paper that's similar to this. And there's that stamp again that I love. This is my Happy Place Island. You probably can't see it on screen because it's pencil. And this one, I was playing with some new dies that I got that have little tags and kind of label looking things. Christy and I, my sister, had chosen to pick a couple of scrapbook papers to use and make a page. And this is what I came up with. These are actually the letters off of, I believe it's my Dick Blick catalog. It had something about a spring sale, and I love the letters. And I love tags. I love tags. And these are just glued down with medium. They're just this, like, embroidery string. And my own homemade washi tape. This is one of my favorite pages. I used spackling, or what do you call it, joint compound, for the texture, and it has lots of glazes over it. the colors are also glazes. And a saying about courage. I love this saying. Courage is being yourself every day in a world that expects you to be someone else. That means a lot to me. This is another one where I put gesso over the background and left the circles, used some stamping, and I really love this stamp. It's out of a whole set by, no, I don't have it on its thing, so I don't know. Cool washi tapes. I really like washi tape. And this one started out as just testing out colors, and the squares are stamped down from Distress Inks, and then the purple one I kind of just went like that with the stamp pad, and that was like a resist over a white paint pen. Not exciting, but I love this page, and all the little elements just pop up, and I just love it. It's so fun. This is another one where I'd picked some pages and sat down. I had been on the couch for a long time with a back problem, so I drug my stuff out to the living room and put all this on my ottoman so I could kind of work sideways while laying on the couch. So I really love that page. I love the colors. This is about back issues. I was looking through magazines tearing out pictures, and that came along, and I'm like, oh my gosh, journal page. So this was a Kino coaster when my husband and I went to the bar to have a quick bite to eat while I was still having back problems. So I used it to journal on, which is really fun. And more washi tapes. I like washi tapes. And this one I wanted to play with a color combination I'd run across while testing out some Distress Inks. And this is the Peacock Feathers, and I think that might be Spiced Marmalade, but these are the colors from the Distress Inks, and I really just love them.